New York at the American Legion Post, number 216. My name is Wayne Clark. I'm with the New York State Military Museum in Saratoga Springs. Sir, for the record, would you please state your full name and your date and place of birth, please?
My name is Harry Walter Athenas. I was born in Englewood, New Jersey.
Okay, and when were you born?
January 8, 1923.
Okay. Did you attend school there?
No, I attended school on Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved, my folks, when I was just a baby, moved from New Jersey to Long Island. And I grew up, on Long Island my whole life, really.
Okay. Did you graduate from high school?
No, I never went to high school.
Okay.
I didn't graduate from grammar school either.
Okay. And when did you go into the service?
I went into service in 1943.
Mm-hmm. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
I was drafted.
Okay. Whereabouts did you go for your basic training?
My basic training took place in Miami Beach, Florida. I was inducted in Camp Upton, and then we went to Miami Beach, Florida. That's where we took our basic training.
Now, was that an Air Corps basic training?
Well, I imagine it was. I imagine I was on the Air Corps.
Okay. Yeah, the reason I asked, most of the guys that went to Miami Beach ended up in the Air Corps.
Yeah. That was Air Corps. I imagine it was Air Corps training because when I left there, I went to Jefferson Barracks, Missouri, and that's where they trained young men to become flyers. You know, that's where they took their basic training. I was there. And
now, how long were you there?
in Jefferson Barracks.
Yeah.
Jefferson Barracks, I was there, I think, until 1943. And then I shipped to Scottsfield, Illinois, for overseas shipment.
Okay. Now, what was your job specialty?
Well, when I had gone to Jefferson Barracks, I had signed up for truck driver school, which was in Camp Lee, Virginia. And I spent, I think it was 9 weeks, I think, in Camp Lee, Virginia, becoming a truck driver.
What type of vehicles did you drive?
Mostly a GMC 6x6, the big trucks.
Okay. Did you learn any kind of mechanics also, or just?
Yes, no, you went through a mechanics course before you started driving. You went through a whole mechanics course that was taught to us by civilians. They taught the school. It was taught by civilians, and I went there and I got my license to drive Army vehicles.
Did you ever drive any Army motorcycles too?
No, not motorcycles, no.
Okay.
I didn't get that far. No, I didn't get the motorcycle.
Okay. So you became a truck driver, and then you shipped overseas?
Yeah, we shipped over.
Now, did you go over with a unit or as a replacement?
One single ship.
Okay.
Yeah, SS Aquitania.
Okay.
Was the name of the ship. And
now did you went over on a single ship? So
one single ship, no escort, no nothing, just a single ship with 30,000 men on that ship.
Did you get seasick at all?
No, a little bit. I got a little bit when we got out in the North Atlantic. I got a little bit, but not too bad.
Okay.
But then we landed in Scotland. And we stayed in Scotland for a week or 10 days. And then we shipped into England. And I was stationed at what they call Ascot Racetrack. In England, we were camped. We had our camp on a racetrack.
Oh. Okay. And how long were you there for?
Let's see. We shipped in there. I guess we were there until the invasion.
Okay. Now, what unit were you assigned to?
I was on the 1709 Signal Service Battalion, attached to the 9th Air Force.
Okay,
We had to say, our signals had to do with the Ninth Air Force.
okay.
They needed fighters. It would come to our outfit, and we would try and go to send to England because there was no airfields yet in France. So they would send to England for fighters, and fighters would come from
I see.
England. But then later on, once we advanced, then we had airfields in France, and the fighters were in France.
Okay. Tell me about the invasion. You obviously prepared for that, and
Well, I don't think anybody's prepared for it. I mean, everybody's young boys. I mean,
yeah.
everything is, what do I say, confused.
Now, were you part of the first group on June?
The second group.
Second
We came
group.
in that night.
Okay,
We came in that night of the first day.
okay. What was that like for you?
What's that?
What was that like for you?
Well, confusing. There was so much going on, and so many people giving orders, you know. And the only thing I think a person that really saved that whole invasion was an engineer and a bulldozer who made a road up from the beach up onto the highway,
Now, which beach did you land on?
Omaha Beach.
Oh, you landed on Omaha.
Omaha Beach.
Okay. Were you under fire at all at that point?
Well, mostly sniper fire, and you had some artillery fire that was coming in from a long distance off. You know, that was back in off the beach. There was German artillery fire.
Now, were you in a truck?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah, we came right off the landing barge.
okay.
We came right off in a truck.
Now, was your truck waterproofed at all?
Yes, we waterproofed everything while we were in England. We waterproofed everything, and then when we landed, like I say, that fellow who cut that road up off the beach said you could get up off the beach. He should get a Congressional Medal of Honor for what he did there. Otherwise, he would never got off that beach.
Yeah. Was there still a lot of wreckage and,
Oh yeah,
and wounded and dead?
your only idea was get to where you're going. You know, you know where you had to go, and then we landed. We did waterproof the trucks, and then we went down along the coast to a town called Grand Camp. It was right on the coast of France, and we stayed there for Grand Camp. I guess maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Then the main outfit came over from England. See, we were only a small group that went over. The main body came over later.
I see.
They came over later. So when they came over later, we moved up into a town called St. Margaretville.
Oh, yes.
We moved up into that town and set up. Because see, we had what we had was all radio and telegraph equipment in the trucks. That's what our main thing was. We had the code deciphering truck also could decipher codes. So we had to be, you know, if we were to be overrun by the Germans, we'd have to destroy everything. You know, that was the first order of the day, destroy everything if we should be over, because we're sitting on the beach. I mean, you got the English Channel,
Sure.
and the Germans are only a few miles away at the time. So anything could have happened. They could have counterattacked, and where could you go? Your back was against the water, you know. So our orders were that if that would happen, to destroy everything, your trucks, all the equipment, everything.
Okay. So obviously that didn't happen.
No, we didn't.
Okay. So you eventually moved inland more?
We stayed there, and the Grand Camp, a good 3 weeks, I think, close to 4 weeks we stayed in Grand Camp, set up everything in Grand Camp. And a lot of things happened there also. You know, every night a German fighter would come over just to harass us. You know, come fly right up, right top of tree level, you know what I mean? He'd come flying right across over the top of us, go out over the English Channel, he'd turn around, he'd come back across and the artillery outfit that was about 4 miles down the road from us would be shooting at him. And they never hit him.
Did you get strafed at all?
No, he never shot anything. It was just harassment, that's all. It was just, keep you can't sleep. You know, you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Is he going to shoot? Is he going to drop bombs? You don't know. So you're sitting there, what is he going to do tonight? You know? And he come over at the same time every night, 11:15. You set your watch, 11:15, here he comes.
All right, and once you moved out of there, where were you sent next?
Well, like I said, we went to St. Margaretville from there. Then we after we left St. Margaretville, we went to a town called Naval. France. After Naval, we moved up to the other side of Paris to a town called Chantilly. And we stayed in Chantilly actually until the end of the war.
Okay.
We stayed in Chantilly.
And you continually moved equipment around?
Oh yeah.
Supplies?
After the war ended, then we moved up to Wiesbaden, Germany. That's where the headquarters is still today. Is in Wiesbaden, Germany. We set up that headquarters at Wiesbaden. And then from Wiesbaden, we moved up into Bavaria, by Kissingen, Germany.
Okay.
And we stayed in occupation and by Kissingen.
Okay.
And there we left there, I think it was around the middle of October. We left Bad Kissingen and shipped down to Antwerp, Belgium. We waited there for a ship to take us home.
Okay. Now, during the time between the invasion and when the war ended, you were constantly moving equipment and driving. And
My job was always to find depots to get supplies.
Were you ever under direct attack by the Germans at all?
No, not after the first day. We had a lot of sniper fire in Grand Camp. There was a lot of sniper fire, but I think that was the French, not the Germans. I think that was the French because you know you got to understand the French were doing all right with the Germans, and then we come along and blow up their home, kill their family, so they don't have much love for us. You know, and that would be the same way. I mean, so would you. They go, they had no use for the Americans, so we suffered a lot of sniper fire. In fact, I was going to get, the war was going to have me court-martialed because I refused to climb a pole and string telephone wires. I said, nobody else strings them up there. I'm not going to climb that pole with all these snipers around. You know, it's a common sense. I go, oh, well, you know, I can get you court-martialed. I said, you do what you got to do. I said, I'll put the wires down where everybody else put theirs along the fence and right along the road. They don't climb poles when there's snipers around. You know? So that was another event.
Now, what about your clothing and equipment? Was it adequate?
Yes, I think our stuff was that we had was adequate. I mean, like I say, I was always in charge of getting supplies. That was my job. Find out where supplies are and go get them. You know, whether we're in Belgium, whether France, or wherever supply depots were. A lot of times we went to Cherbourg for supplies. I have a whole story there about Cherbourg.
Okay. Do you want to read off any of those stories or refer to them? Sure.
I can if you want me to.
Yeah, whatever you want to tell us.
Like I said, our first order of the day was to destroy all the equipment that I told you about. Meeting up with my brother.
Oh yeah, tell us about that.
What happened there was that, like I said, we set up in Grand Camp, and I had to return to Omaha Beach for supplies, mainly ration supplies. All we had was K rations. You know, I don't know if you've ever K rations. They're terrible.
No.
It's all dehydrated food, you know. So I went back to the Omaha Beach to pick up some supplies and batteries because they operated off of batteries, those telegraph they ran off of batteries. And later on, we had generators, but then they ran off of batteries. So I went down to Omaha Beach to pick up ration supplies and to pick up some batteries. And right there at Omaha Beach, there was a information booth. And if you wanted to find out where outfits were, you could ask them, they could tell you just where they were. So I figured, well, I'll stop there and ask, maybe that's where my brother's outfit is, you know? Because I didn't know where my brother was at the time. I didn't know, did he come on Omaha Beach? Did he come on Utah Beach? I didn't know. So I asked them, and lucky, fortunate enough, the fellow in the booth, I worked in a post office in Floral Park in 1938. And he was in charge of that booth. And I told him, I said, I'm looking for my brother's outfit. He says, tell me the name and I'll find it for you. And he knew exactly where his outfit was. He told me, he said, it's Chef Dupont. He's in the town of Chef Dupont. And he told me the highway number and all. He says, that's where your brother's outfit is right now. So next day, my good friend Nick Cicero, we were buddies through the whole war. The next day we took a truck, we went to visit my brother. And that's where these pictures.
Okay, you want to hold that picture up?
Now you can see it.
Yeah, well, I could zoom right in on it. Okay, now which one is your brother?
The smaller one.
Okay.
The bigger one is me.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so then Nick and I went to go see my brother. And when we got there, he was down the beach picking up supplies. So the sergeant said, well, he'll be right back, just wait here for him. So we waited there, and he pulled in with his truck. And we were sitting around with the other guys in his outfit, you know, and the sergeant was there. So the sergeant says, hey, Bill, come over here. So they come over there, that's where we met. And we cried, the both of us.
How long had it been since you've seen him?
See, my brother Bill, he went into service before me, my brother Bill. I guess it was a good 2.5 years, I guess, since I had seen him. He was in there first, he went into Ireland, and from Ireland he went to England, and then he married a girl in England, and that's who he came home with, and he died in England. He went back later on, way after the war. He went to a place, my brother was big in the fire department, and so he was made a fire marshal, and they made a convention that went to Amsterdam. So they went to Amsterdam, and they figured, well, after the convention, he would go to England and see his in-laws in England, and he got pneumonia and died.
Oh, jeez.
In England.
Oh, that's too bad.
After going through everything, he died in England pneumonia.
Wow. Was his wife with him at the time?
No, his wife was here.
Oh, boy.
It was on Long Island
Yeah.
at the time.
Okay.
I don't know if that has any part of this
Oh,
or not.
yeah, it's interesting. All right, and then what else do you have there?
Well, that was my brother Bill. Then I told about every night the German fighter would come over to harass us. I don't know whether he was looking for our outfit or what, but he would fly directly over us every night. That went on for 3 weeks. And they would shoot at him. I guess they would send like 5,000 rounds at him, never hit him. So that went every night. That was harass you. They shoot at him, keeping us awake. He'd go out over the English Channel, turn around and come right back over the same route, right over us. And they would keep shooting at him. They never hit him.
What did they call him now?
Ben Check Charlie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
His name is Ben Check Charlie. Then after that, this artillery outfit was about 4 miles down the road from where we were. And one evening about, I'd say around 5:45, a P-38 came over us. And planes had to be on the ground at 6 o'clock. That was the rule. All planes had to be on the ground at 6 o'clock. Well, he didn't make 6 o'clock, and the Alvin shut him down.
Oh, boy.
Shut down the B-38. So we went over the field and picked him up because he parachuted out. We went and picked him up, and he was mad as hell. He says he'd been shot down twice by our own guns. So he was pretty mad about that. And I don't know if you want to hear all this.
Sure, sure.
And there was a trip I made from Chantilly to Cherbourg to pick up supplies. I had to go to 3 different depots for what I was looking for. I had to get oil, I had to get truck parts, and I had to get kerosene. And kerosene was a shortage of kerosene. Really, kerosene was hard to get, but I had to get it because for my colonel's kerosene heater. So he wanted the kerosene. So I picked up everything else, and the last thing I had to go get was the kerosene. So I pulled up to a field where they told me the kerosene was, and this colored boys were in charge of it. He says, well, the kerosene, he says, way back over there in the field. He said, but he said, if you go in that field and you get stuck, he says, no one's gonna pull you back out. So make up your mind. He says, if the kerosene is that important, you go in that field, if you get stuck, you're on your own, you know. So I went in, I picked up the kerosene. In fact, the one colored fella came out with me, loaded the kerosene onto the truck. Coming back out, I got stuck. I mean, I got stuck. I was in France. When you're in the mud in France, that's about like that mud's like quicksand. That's how bad. I've seen German tanks in Cherbourg Harbor. The only thing that was sticking out was the turret. The rest of that tank was down in the mud.
Wow.
So I said, I went in the field, got stuck, and he said, well, he says, I don't know how you're going to get out of here. I said, well, I'll get out of here. So I got my skid chains out, put skid chains on my front wheels, the skid chains, and I was laying in this mud. I mean, I was mud from head to toe. I was full of mud. I got the skid chains on, and I got out of the field. And the guy was saying, man, he said, look at this guy eat up this field. He didn't say guy. He said, look at his mother eat up this field. You know? So I got out on the road, and I took the chains off. I don't need the chains anymore once I got back on the road. And after that, after that, I left there and I hit a detour. And I got turned around in a detour. I don't know what, you know, you can't use headlights.
Yeah.
So I got turned around after the detour, and I really got lost. I don't know what the hell I was. I said, well, I'll keep driving and find my way out of here. And I looked in the field, and there was a truck and a trailer out in the field, Army stuff. I said, well, I'll stop in there. Maybe they could put me on the road to Paris. Once I get to Paris, I can find my way out. So I went in there, and I stopped in there, and there was a sergeant there. Asked what I wanted. And I said, well, I need the right road to get me to Paris. I said, that's all I need. So a door opens up, and who do you think walks in? General Patton.
Oh, my God.
Yes, so with his guns on, that's why I knew who he was. And he said to the sergeant, what's going on here? So the sergeant said, well, this corporal is lost, and we wanted to get him on the road to Paris. He said, well, I'll tell you what, you feed that man, you give him a whole change of clothes, and you send him on his way. That's his exact words.
Now, you were covered with mud at that
Yeah,
point.
mud from head to toe.
Oh.
From head to toe. He said, you give him all clean clothes and shoes, and you feed him and send him on his way.
Wow. That's quite the story.
Yeah.
Now, did you actually get to talk to Patton at all?
No.
No?
I talked to the sergeant.
Yeah.
You got to talk to him. You got to talk to the sergeant. But that was another event.
Now, while you were overseas, Did you get to see any USO shows or anything like
Yes,
that?
we had USO shows with Bob Hope,
Mm-hmm.
and that was in Chantilly.
Uh-huh.
We were in Chantilly. Bob Hope came and put on a show for us in Chantilly. Chantilly's a pretty good sized town
Mm-hmm.
compared to the other towns in France. Chantilly's pretty good size.
Mm-hmm.
We set up a main headquarters in Chantilly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got some more stories. I'm like, you want more?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I got one on here I can tell you about.
Okay.
Which I thought, you know how you stick your neck out sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
I stuck my neck out. Yeah, that's when the WAAC joined our outfit. When we were in Chantilly, France.
Uh-huh.
We had a whole company of WAAC came, which were radio operators,
Uh-huh.
teletype, and you know, they took over that part
Okay.
of the WAAC. And
Was fraternization allowed with the WAACs?
well, no, really was, but you know that doesn't work out either.
Uh-huh.
But when they first came over, I was given a job because they worked in town.
Mm-hmm.
That's where their quarters were. But the headquarters was about 5 miles outside of town.
Mm-hmm.
So my job was to pick them up at their quarters and take them to headquarters, and then after that shift, bring the next shift, and then take that shift back home.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 shifts. I had. We called it the WAAC run, you know.
Okay.
So I was on the WAAC run, and but sometimes, you know, I would go on trips like maybe I have to go to not Antwerp, but to Liège, Belgium, to get see different parts or came in different places. Liège had mostly engines and big parts came in Liège. Small parts you could get in Cherbourg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I did one WAAC. She always sat up front with me,
Uh-huh.
and she was telling me about her brother. He was in a replacement depot. So she gave me the number of his outfit, and I said, well, if I run across him, I'll see if maybe I can do something for you, you know. So I found his outfit, and I went in. You know, when you're young, you got a lot of I went in there and I asked the sergeant. The sergeant, well, you have to ask the captain. He said, I can't give you any permission for him to go. So when I talked to the captain, I told the captain about his sister working in our outfit.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice if she could, because how I felt when I met my brother,
Sure.
how it would be for her to meet her brother, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked my ass off to the captain. He finally gave me a 24-hour pass for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
So took him back, stayed with his sister, and that next afternoon I had to pick him up and take him back to his house. I only had for 24 hours, and I got him back on time.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That was a nice thing you did.
I felt how I felt when I met my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And how she would feel when she met her brother, you
Sure.
know, it would be the same kind of a feeling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was at an infantry replacement depot, so, you know, who the hell knows where the Battle of the Bulge hadn't even taken place yet,
Yeah.
you know. So, whether he made it or not, his name was Jimmy Conley.
Mm-hmm.
That was the boy's name. And then, you know, sometimes you do good deeds, and you wonder why you get whacked.
Yeah.
Well, on my way back and taking him off back there, I crashed over the Jeep. I crashed the Jeep up and got hurt on myself pretty bad. I got thrown out of the Jeep, landed on my head.
Oh.
And
Were you in the hospital?
well, what happened is I was laying out in the middle of the road. I was knocked out, really. And a truck comes down, some colored boys in it. Lucky enough they seen me, because you got no lights. I don't know how the heck they seen me,
Yeah.
but they did. And they got up and they said, well, you know, what happened? You know, I'm drunk, you know. And I look up, and the first thing I said to myself, the angels are colored. That's the first thing that comes to my mind, you know. You hurt, the first thing about it, the angels are colored, you know. So they took me down to the town, and they called up my outfit, and he came and picked me up, and then I went for x-rays and stuff. And I had a concussion, was all. It wasn't fractured or nothing. Too hard I had to fracture it. But that was another event. Story I had. I got some more somewhere. I have a lot of stories. I'll show you about the German fighter. And this way. Well, they have different questions on here, you know. Well, I did it. The only injury I really got was when I smashed that Jeep up. The only injury I really got. But that, they asked about the equipment. Was our equipment better than theirs? Our equipment was good, but theirs was better. They had good equipment.
Now, what kind of weapon did you carry?
I had a machine gun.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had a 45. That's what I'm wearing here.
Now, did you have the grease? Did you have the grease gun, machine gun, or the Thompson?
No, the old 45s that we had.
Okay.
And my brother had a carbine.
Okay.
That's what I'm carrying right here is the 45, and he's got the carbine.
Now, when the war had ended, whereabouts were you at that point?
Bad Kissingen, Germany. Well, no, when the war ended, I was in Chantilly, France. That's when the war actually ended, and then we shipped from Chantilly. We shipped up into Wiesbaden, Germany, made up the headquarters of Wiesbaden, Germany, and then moved on to Bad Kissingen occupation.
Okay.
You know.
How did you get along with the German population after the war ended?
No problem at all. I mean, I'm up Bad Kissingen is like being up here in the Catskill Mountains, you know. You don't know what the hell's going on outside of the Catskill Mountains, you know what I mean? Well, Bad Kissingen was the same way. We had Germans working for us in the motor pool. We had Germans working there for us.
Now, when did they ship you back to the States?
Well, that was another story. They gave us the orders to pack up our stuff and go down to the railroad station in Bad Kissingen, and we're heading for home. So, man, we packed up all our stuff. And first of all, you have enough points to go home. You know, you're on the point system. You had to have enough points. If you didn't, you would be shipped out to another outfit, you know. You had to have, our outfit went home, we went home with the 101st Airborne. And what we did, we went down to the railroad station, packed up all our stuff, went to the railroad station. No train. No train came. So we went back, I'll pack your stuff. Wait about another week or so. Got the orders to go again. Pack all your stuff up again. We're going home, boy. Go down to the railroad station, again no train. You know, the third time was the charm. Third time we went down, then the train came, boxcars, you know, we were in 48 boxcars. And we went to Antwerp, Belgium. That's where we went, but there was no ship to take us home. So we sat at Antwerp for almost 3 weeks before a ship came. I said, you had no trouble finding a ship to take me over here, but I didn't care find a ship to take me home. Well, they got a ship came in, but the ship was only half converted to a troop carrier. So the captain of the ship said, well, he says, I could take us all home, he says, but only half converted, but you could sleep in the holes, you know, open holes, you know. You could bunk in there if you're willing to. So I got enough food for everybody. He says, does anybody want to stay here or want to go home? Only one guy wanted to stay. You know, we got on, and We left there October 31st. We pulled out of Antwerp,
Mm-hmm.
and we got out the North Atlantic. And boy, that was an experience too.
Was it really rough?
Oh man, I never seen rough water like that my whole life. I never thought waves could get that big.
Wow.
But we were on a Liberty ship,
Uh-huh.
and I went through this whole war, and I get killed, and now you're going to drown me. That's what it felt like. I mean, I never thought we were going to make it. I mean, I never seen waves that big.
Wow.
But,
So obviously you made it back to the States.
we landed in New York on 11th of November, Armistice Day. Then it was Armistice Day, if you remember.
Yeah,
The 11th of November was Armistice Day then. They changed it to Veterans Day now,
yeah.
but then it was Armistice Day. We landed in New York.
Was there a lot of celebration?
Oh, yeah, God. I see that Statue of Liberty. I think everybody on the board that ship cried when they see the Statue of Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're home now, you know.
Yeah,
You know, you're home free, and
yeah.
it was a great experience.
Whereabouts did you get discharged from?
Well, first they took us to Camp Drum over in New Jersey.
Oh, you mean Fort Dix?
No, not Fort Dix. Fort Dix is where I got busted out, was at Fort Dix.
Okay.
But when we first landed, they took us to Camp Drum over in New Jersey. And there you shift from there to your different states where you to be discharged. You be discharged to the state. And the states are, I was discharged at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Okay.
But everybody else, you know, like my buddy Nick, he lived in Louisiana, you know, so he had to go to Louisiana to be discharged.
Okay. Once you were discharged, did you make use of the GI Bill at all?
No, not really, not really. I didn't. I mean, I have some other stories there. I don't know if you want to keep hearing more stories than I.
Let me ask you, did you make use of the 5220 club?
I was on that for about maybe 2 months. I was on that until I could, because you know you're coming home. You know, when I went into the service, I was working for Grumman Aircraft.
Uh-huh.
When I went into the service, you know, coming back out, Grumman was laying off people. So I mean, they had to give you your job back.
Yeah.
I mean, that was what the story was. You would go back to Grumman's. That's where you were working when you went in.
Yeah.
They were going to hire you back, but they were laying off everybody. So what was the sense of going trying to get a job in there? And you know, you probably work a couple of weeks and you get laid off. You know. So I went to work in a bus company in Floral Park. I went there as a body man. And a bus company. My brother worked for them, my brother Bill. He drove a bus for them, and my brother-in-law, he was a mechanic in there, and my other brother-in-law, he was a helper. So they got me a job in there for 95 cents an hour. I mean, you know, coming out of the war, 95 cents an hour wasn't very much money.
Yeah.
But again, you know, that was after the war. They haven't really changed it over, you know, from wartime to peacetime, you know.
Yeah.
So 95 cents an hour didn't seem like a lot of money, but you had to do something. I had a wife and baby to take care of.
Yeah.
And
Now, did you stay in touch with anyone you were in the service with?
yeah, my buddy Nick Cicero.
Okay.
I went down to Louisiana 3 or 4 times, and he came up to New York a couple of times
Uh-huh.
to visit me, and I went down there. I guess it was at least 4 times I went to Louisiana. He had a big place in Louisiana.
Is he still alive?
No, he died. He died in '92.
Oh.
My brother Bill's dead. He's dead too.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
I joined the Veterans of Foreign Wars at Floral Park. Barry Post, I think was the name of that one. But you know, I don't like organizations where you can split one half the room. It's from one side, and the other side, So anytime you want to do something, this guy, if I want to do something, so I would vote against it. And vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same way. You know, you never got no ways. So I was made chaplain of the post. I was chaplain there for a couple of years. And then I gave it up. I says, this outfit ain't going to go nowhere. It's because they keep fighting against one another. They're not going to get no place. They had a big Las Vegas night, they called it. And they made up chance books. Just all chance books for this. So I took bought the chance books. In fact, actually it was 95 that I sold. There was only 101 sold, complete, and I sold 95.
Jeez.
So that's the kind of cooperation
Yeah.
you're talking about, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, I quit, that's enough for me. Then I joined, after that, my brother Bill, he got me to join Knights of Columbus.
Uh-huh.
I go, well, let's see what the Knights of Columbus has got to do, you know? So things were going fine. Then my wife, Harry's mother, every month they would have a different night at the Knights of Columbus. One would be German night, Polish night, you know, whatever. Different night. Well, on Ukrainian night, they have kibasi and stuff for the dinner, you know. So at the meeting, they said that's next Sunday night was going to be. It's going to be Ukrainian night, your kibasi and stuff like that. So I said, if you want to get tickets, go down to the bar after the meeting and get tickets. I said, oh, great. I get tickets. I go down there and stuff. Oh, they're all gone. I said, he just announced it upstairs. How can they all be gone? But that was another one of those things. They kept everything for their friends, and you know, you weren't in that crowd, so you didn't get. I said, well, that's the end of Knights of Columbus. Then I joined this post up here.
Yeah.
Same stuff happened up here. Same
Oh.
thing.
That's too bad.
I said, that's enough for me. I said, I know I can't stay up an organization where they're fighting.
Yeah.
You're all in one organization. Let's pull together. We get something done, you know.
Yeah.
But no, you know, so.
How do you think your time in the service changed or affected your life?
Well, like I say, I was a young boy. I had got married in 43. I went overseas in 43. And then my wife had a baby just before I was being shipped overseas. And I wanted at least get home, see my wife and baby before I go overseas. Who knows if I ever going to see them again.
Yeah.
So I was going to go AWOL out of Scottsville, Illinois. So, well, I go AWOL. But then you got to remember, it ain't AWOL anymore. It's desertion.
Yeah.
See, you out overseas now. Shipment has become a desertion instead of AWOL. So this old Italian fella come over to me. And he came from another barracks. He wasn't even in our barracks, but he heard that I was going to try to get out and go home and see my wife and baby, because they wouldn't give me a pass. They told me, no way, you can't even get a pass if your mother dies. That's the kind of people you're dealing with, you know. I said, well, ain't no friend big enough I can't get over. I mean, today I couldn't, but then I couldn't. So he came over to the Italian fellow. He says, come here, I want to talk to you. I said, yeah, well, I don't even know this fella. I said, yeah, what's up? He said, I heard you're going over the fence, you're going to go home. I said, yeah. He said, man, he said, don't do that. He said, you know where we're going next Tuesday? I said, no, we're going to Camp Kilman, New Jersey. He said, why don't you wait till we get to Camp Kilman, New Jersey, and then pay your fare to New Jersey. Then you can go AWOL and go home and see your wife, you know? But we got there, and I didn't have to. They gave passes.
Oh.
They gave us passes, weekend passes, so I was able to go see my wife.
Oh, good.
So it worked out anyway.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, thank you very much for your interview.
I hope to. Now you can have this picture. If you want these pictures, you can have them.
All right.
I figured
Okay, and this is your discharge.
that's my discharge, right?
Okay, let me zoom right in on it. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, there was another time too that was over there. I don't want to tell that story. I'll just tell you part of it, and you can judge it for yourself. They came up with the thing that there was a shortage of gasoline,
Mm-hmm.
but there was no shortage of gasoline. There was enough gasoline in Cherbourg Harbor to float the Atlantic Fleet. That's how much gasoline there was. So I said, don't give me the stuff about the shortage of gasoline. That was just a front thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can take it from there.
All right, thank you.
I don't want to tell you the story because
Okay.
it's not a good story.